Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live weekly chat. Now I'm just going to wait for a few viewers to turn up before we go into any chat, basically, because we've got 2 weeks worth of chat to catch up on. I wasn't able to make last week, so we've got 2 weeks to talk about. In fact, there was so much to choose from that's happened in this voluptuous week, this very, very voluptuous week, that my list I've had to condense down to even fit it on one piece of paper. So there's some important things that I've got to talk about, or the things that I think are the most important, but you guys can tell me exactly what you want to talk about. That's what these chats are about. They're about you, and they're about what you want to know, or what you want to tell me, or anything about that you want. So you find the chat box that you can see, say hello, grab your favorite drink, grab your favorite snack, and let's have a fantastic chat like we always do. So as always, I pre-opened the chat window. So I'm going to find that now, and then I can talk to you guys. I can see who's here. We usually do have a core membership who always turn up week after week. So thank you to everyone who does turn up week after week for the live chats. I'm really glad that you enjoy them. I enjoy them so much too. And in fact, I really missed last week. It got to live chat time and I was thinking how much I was missing it. So I'm glad to be back, and I hope you guys are glad that I'm back too. Those of you who turned up half an hour ago would got to see a live opening. I did my very first live opening video, and it was a shopping haul that I got from the Royal Collection, the official Buckingham Palace Royal Collection shop, and I bought this replica wattle brooch. It's the Australian wattle. It's a replica of the one that the Queen wears for Australian occasions or Commonwealth occasions. And of course, Prince Harry this week has been to Australia. Pippa Middleton had part of a mega moon honeymoon in Australia, so I thought it was very pertinent to wear that. And also I got this t-shirt, this fab Invictus Games t-shirt, and of course Prince Harry is the patron, and I think he helped set it up as well, of the Invictus Games, and he was in Australia promoting it. So this is another one of my shopping haul finds that I had this week that I opened in that video. So if you haven't seen it, do go and check it out. It should be up now. So this is the t-shirt, and I love it. It's official Invictus Games merchandise from the Buckingham Palace website. You can also get it from the Invictus Games store online too, and they do ship worldwide, so you can get it wherever you are. So yeah, it's amazing. I love it, and I absolutely love the wattle brooch. It's so fabulous. Now I'm going to just go up and read some of the comments and say my hellos. So hello to Freya, hello to Candice, hello to Elaine, hello to Callum. And I'll get to Callum's question in a moment. Junior is here too. Teresa Mars says, is it normal that a mother says to a 30-year-old child to obey? In the monarchy's case, yes. Callum says, nice beard. Thank you very much. Susan says, long time work. I missed the chat, but today I'm free. Well, welcome back. Work can be a pain when something's on that you really want to see. Elaine says, oh, I missed the live opening. It was half an hour ago, so after this you can go back and check it out. It's 15 minutes long. It's where I opened the brooch and the t-shirt. Now I think Callum says, why does the PM have to give a letter to the Queen? Okay, I think you're talking about the election, the British election, and this was on my list to talk about. And the reason why we should go into politics on this is because the Queen is involved. As the head of state, it's her government, so she has to allow the government to form. So what happened was the two main parties in the country, I'm trying to condense this down, is the Labour Party and the Conservative Party. They were battling out. Neither of them officially got enough seats in the House of Commons, the Houses of Parliament, to command the House. So none got an overall majority, which means, it's a rather weird phrase, but it's classed as a hung parliament. The Conservatives got the largest number of seats, so they were the largest party. So in effect, they won the election, but not enough to control the House, to get all their policies through and all the laws and whatever. So they need to form a government. and they've aligned with the DUP, which is the Democratic Party of Ireland, Democratic Unionist Party, I think. And not many people in the UK know a lot about them, but I know they have quite, way out there political views in Ireland. Anyway, so the Conservatives have gone with them. So Theresa May, the Prime Minister, had to go and see the Queen to ask her permission to form a government. So the Queen always asks the Prime Minister who visits, and it's pretty much a formality. She asks them, are you able to form a government? If they are, which Theresa May was, with the help of the DUP, then she gives her permission for the government to be formed. So we now have no change in government. It's a Conservative government with the help of the DUP, and I hope that's condensed it down in a nutshell. So yes, the Queen is involved. She could technically say no, and I suppose it's a bit of a fail-safe. If ever there was someone, let's go way out there and say someone like Hitler, who was trying to rule the country, she could technically say no. However, in normal circumstances, she wouldn't, because obviously that would go against democracy, and it would cause a lot of problems for the monarchy itself, and people would question about whether it should even exist. So she always plays within the rules. The Prime Minister could form a government, and that's what's happened in a nutshell. So I hope that kind of explains it. Political Vector says, hello Elliot, just wanted to take a moment to let you know how much I've enjoyed your new garden show, starring your very beautiful furry children Rory and Molly. Thanks for sharing gardening tips with us. Yes, Political Vector is talking about my other channel. So I've got a new channel which I launched 2 weeks ago on the last live chat, and it's called Elliot Phillips, which is me, and the tagline is Aspects of My Life. So if you type in on YouTube Elliot Phillips Aspects of My Life, you will find my new channel, and I've only put one aspect of my life up so far, and that's in a playlist called it's basically my gardening playlist. So if you go to my gardening playlist, you can see the one aspect of my life, which is gardening, and I'm going to launch a new aspect, so that's a new playlist for that channel this week, in fact this weekend, and I think it's going to be a comedy one, because I do like to be funny and I do like to be crazy. So I have something special planned for that channel, and it does involve a bit of acting and a bit of a formation of a character. I've been forming a character, and it is slightly royal based as well. So it's a comedy character. I know some YouTubers do have kind of comedy aliases, so I have one, and I will be launching it hopefully this weekend if I can film it. So do check out Elliot Phillips Aspects of My Life. Junior is saying hello to all of our lovely ladies. Callum says, can the Queen stop Jeremy Corbyn from being an MP? No, that would be anti-democratic. The only thing the Queen could do technically is dissolve Parliament if she really wanted to, which was an idea that was explored during the Charles III TV show, which I hated. It was based on the play, but that was an idea that was explored, and Charles in that, when he was king, did dissolve Parliament when there was something that he didn't like going on. So technically it could happen, but would it happen? No, I really don't think so. Steve says hello, so hello to Steve. Theta says, still can't hear or see me. Oh no. I will type to Theta so that she can see me. I'm going to tell her to try to reload. There we go. Okay, so hopefully Theta can see that, and hopefully she can hear me soon. I hope you can all hear me as well. Callum says yes. Donzella says you look great. Thank you very much. I've had an outfit change. I was wearing something completely different in my video from half an hour ago. So I feel a bit like a celebrity. I had a quick change. It's like a pop concert. I had a massive quick change. And in fact, I couldn't resist wearing my new t-shirt. And of course, a dark jacket shows off this amazing Australian wattle brooch. So I absolutely loved it. Okay, Freya says, someone like Hitler, that would be if UKIP won. Well, I'm not going to comment on that, but Hitler was my way out example. But yes, if there was a time of probably national crisis, if we were being invaded or something like that, then the Queen could technically dissolve Parliament and sort of get rid of whoever it was that was trying to take control. She is commander of the armed forces, so she could technically take control of the country, command the armed forces, defeat the enemy, and then obviously re-establish as soon as possible a democratically elected government, which was one of the reasons why we had Royal Britannia. Yes, it could be converted into a medical ship. Yes, it was a royal yacht, but it was also a hideout. If there was a time of invasion, the Queen and royal family could be put on the Royal Yacht Britannia, and the plan was for it to sail around the coast of Scotland and hide in coves. So it had a very practical use too, which is another reason why I do think that we should have a new Royal Yacht Britannia. Jamie says, your party's won the most seats. I therefore ask you to form a government in my name. Yes, that is basically what the Queen says. So if they can form one, then obviously they say they can, and the Queen gives her consent to a new government and a new parliament being formed. And of course, we're looking forward to the Queen's speech, which will be coming soon. And Trooping the Colour, we have Trooping the Colour to look forward to next Saturday. So next Saturday will be, I suppose, a Trooping the Colour themed live chat. So I can't wait to see the balcony and the balcony fly past. That will be I'm looking forward to that. And today was the Colonel's Review, which Prince William attended, which is basically a practice, a dry run for Trooping the Colour. And Prince William was on horseback. He was in the full, I think it was the Blues and Royals uniform with the bearskin hat, you know, the really tall, big bearskin hat, the furry one. So he was wearing that. So check out that video. I put that up today. Callum says, God bless the Queen. I think we can all echo that sentiment. Susan says, it's the past Hitler. The original Germans are good. Yes, of course. I wasn't referring to modern day Germans. And of course, not all Germans back in Hitler's day. I mean, he was just someone who obviously ruled that party and took the country in that direction. Obviously, the Nazis are to be deplored. But yes, I was just using that as a way out there example of, you know, an occasion when the Queen could possibly exercise her power to not allow a government to form. Freya says, do you like acting? Well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't, apart from school, when I was at school myself, I did acting in plays, but I haven't acted on the stage as an adult. But I suppose, you know, being on camera is a form of acting. It's a performance, I suppose. So yes, and I think exploring a character, a comedy character, will allow me to probably explore different things that I can't do as me, or maybe I wouldn't even feel comfortable doing as me. But yes, I do hope it will be funny. So there we go. Well, let me know. Leave a comment on that video when I put it up. Let me know if you think it's funny. Elaine says, wow, a comedy, one an acting, brilliant. Caroline says, hi Elliot, flying to London tonight, staying for a week. Wow, I take it you're coming to London? Not many, when people come, they usually go to London. Although I do wish people would explore further into the UK, because London, you know, it's a bit like New York or Washington. It's not representative of the whole country. So if you do come to the UK, please visit other areas. Marla says hi. Nancy says hello again from Nancy in Ontario, Canada. You look great in the new brooch and t-shirt. Thank you very much. Freya says, why doesn't the Duchess of Cambridge have any ladies in waiting? Probably because she's not senior enough yet. And of course, as Queen, she would. I don't even think Camilla necessarily has ladies in waiting. They have aides. They have personal aides. So I suppose you could say she does in a way, but not by official title. Caroline says, thanks, Elaine. Oh dear says, love your brooch, your t-shirt. That's great. Thank you. I love the t-shirt. It's absolutely amazing. And I think I got the right size as well, because I was worried that I hadn't got the right size, but I do like it, and I can wear it for lots of different occasions. I can wear it for my gardening channel. Yeah, I love it. It's really good. Callum says, let's say if people want to get rid of the Queen, can she stop them? I suppose yes, she could. She could command the armed forces, like previous monarchs have done, and she could repress a rebellion. Technically speaking, would she do it? No, I don't think so. I mean, she's always said that if it was the time to go and the people wanted her to go, then she would go quietly. But fortunately, the public appetite isn't that way inclined. So I think we're okay for now. But technically, I suppose she could. Freya says, is it true that Prince Charles once pursued Princess Caroline of Monaco? I think at the time when he was, in his courting days, before Diana, before marriage, a lot of foreign princesses and European princesses and European members of royal families and members of the aristocracy in the UK were all put forward for him to date, and I think he did date some of them, officially or unofficially, or just go for a dinner with them. So you can put a link there, but whether he was truly into it, I don't think so. I personally think he's always pretty much had eyes for Camilla, and that's probably why he put off marrying until his 30s. I think he was 30 something when he was married. Someone do fact check. And that's probably why he put it off so long, because he loved Camilla, and then he was kind of pressurized into marrying Diana, which he did. And of course, we all know the story from then. So did he pursue her? I think he probably dated her, but probably under pressure from family. I don't think he would have necessarily pursued her, if you get what I mean. Okay, Elaine says, I know, off topic, but once I was listening to the radio and thought, wow, this guy is great. John Smith. Yes, he's a really good singer. Definitely. Political Vet says, Elliot, your new brooch is smashing and looks great. It is, but also it's got a little hook like the other one, like a little, oh, by the way, it's gold plated. It's gold plated and with all these lovely crystals. It's an exact replica. I think the Queen's might be slightly larger, but this is an exact replica. It looks exactly the same and it's amazing. But it's got a little hook, so I can wear it on a chain or on a ribbon. You can wear it as a choker. You could have it in your hair. If you're a female and you've got an updo, you could have it on there. So it's very flexible, very versatile. It's a very versatile piece, and I do love it. Let me see where I missed. Callum says we need more YouTube channels like this. Well, I'm glad you like it so much. I mean, I do put a lot of effort into it, and in fact, I've been trying to do more and more and more and more videos. And my new format kind of allows me to do that. And I know a lot of you miss the full commentary videos, and I will be doing some more of those. I've got a big 6-week holiday coming up, so I'll have a lot more time where I can do those. But in terms of the output that I can do, in the fact that I can cover lots more stories, doing it the way that I've been doing it for the past 3-4 weeks, has allowed me to do that. It's allowed me to increase the input, but also have some key commentary on there too. So I hope that you're all enjoying that kind of format. It's one that I've settled on in terms of, like I say, being able to follow a lot of stories. But like I say, when I've got more time, or if ever there was a point when I didn't have to work for money and I could concentrate on my YouTube channel, which I would love to do, then I would be able to do a lot more commentary videos, full commentary videos, like what I used to do. So we'll see. So yeah, I mean, that depends entirely upon how much people watch my videos, how much people like them, how much people share them and leave comments. And I found out from some other YouTubers the other day that actually, to get your videos noticed on YouTube, to get it through the YouTube system, the algorithm, they go a lot on watch time. So if you want to help this channel, re-watch the videos, watch them right to the end. Even if you're at work, leave my playlist running. At night time, leave it running. That's how you can really help this channel, and it helps the videos. Well, it helps YouTube pick up the videos to recommend for other people. So the more you watch, the more people see, the more chance I've got of being able to give up work and do this full time and dedicate my life to this channel. Because those of you who know, I do this in my own free time, which I love doing. It's a lot of work, but I love doing it. But I would love to do this full time. There's so much. I've got a massive list of videos that I want to make, and I just haven't got the time. So you can support me even if you don't want to join Patreon and be one of my monthly patrons. You can support by liking, sharing, commenting, and watching the videos. Just by watching, just by leaving the playlist running while you're at work, or even if you're at work, just have them on in the background. It really does help. So if we can try and get my watch time up, that would possibly help a lot. Oh yes, Nancy says happy birthday to Prince Philip, who's 96. Yes, now I didn't have time to make a proper video about that today separately, but maybe tomorrow. Even a belated birthday is good. So he's 96, and of course that kind of coincides with his semi-retirement, if you like. His step back from public view, and from official duties. So a big, massive happy birthday, 96th birthday to Prince Philip. H.A. Bracken says, I was in Edinburgh a couple of weeks ago and toured the Royal Britannia. I really want to go. Surprisingly, not as lavish as you'd think, but still very nice. Yes, it was the Queen's personal style. She decorated it. She presided over the designs, and Prince Philip did. So that basically, if you want to know what their taste is, or at least what their taste was 60 years ago, or whatever it was when they first designed it, that's what their taste was. That's the only home that they've ever had that they've actually designed themselves. Elaine says, sadly had a heart attack and passed, would have made a great Prime Minister. Oh, who was that? I think I've missed that. Who had a heart attack? I think I've totally missed that one. Let me know again. Who had the heart attack and would have made a brilliant Prime Minister? Freya says, how is James Hewitt? I heard he had a heart attack and a stroke. Is he doing all right? I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything. All I knew was the same as you guys, which I put out there. That he had a heart attack, he wasn't well, but I haven't heard anything since. So that's something that I think I need to look into. Elaine says, I heard that too, relatively young. He made Diana happy for some time. He did. Callum says, we can't let our tradition and the monarch fade. YouTube like this is great. Thank you. That's one of the reasons why I do it. And also to inspire young people, to get more young people into the monarchy, or at least give them access in a modern way to the monarchy. Because I think it's important, and a lot of young people can get something really positive from the monarchy. They're good role models, they support the charities, and also, it's another way to get people interested in politics too, which I think is important. And in the last UK election, which we've just had, more and more people, young people, were mobilised into voting. And I think if we can get more people into the monarchy, then that's really great. And if I can play a small part in that, then fantastic. Jamie said, oh, is this a rumour? Of course, there is lots of Camilla rumours. There has been ever since this YouTube channel called The Top Half came into existence, that Camilla has AIDS. Well, no, she doesn't. Are we talking about hearing aids or AIDS? I don't know. On either count, I can't quite confirm or deny. But no, I don't think she has AIDS. And as for hearing aids, I haven't looked that close. Maybe we should look in the photographs, although her hair does kind of cover. Jamie says he was 32 when marrying Diana, that's Prince Charles. I knew he was in his early 30s. Political Vector says, Elliot, can it be true that most British citizens have forgotten the Saxe-Coburg-Gotha heritage of the Windsors and Mountbattens? Princess Caroline of Monaco was way too experienced for Charles. I can agree on that point. Yes, probably most people don't know that they used to have a different name, the Saxe-Coburg and Gothas. And again, you know, people that watch my channel will know from different bits of videos where I've mentioned it. But no, a lot of people don't know, and that's really sad. I think more people should know about our history and royal history. Elaine says, I think the Queen is very mindful of having a lavish lifestyle, so not surprised the yacht isn't grand. She wanted it to look a bit like a country cottage, but like a floating country cottage. And if you've seen it, it does look like that. Caroline says, how is the weather been over here? It was sunny, and then it's been rainy, and then we get patches of sun, and then it's more rain. So it's a mixed bag. It's pretty much coming up to our British summer, isn't it? So that's what we get, a real mixed bag. Although today, Elaine is correct, it is kind of a bit humid actually, but we have had rain and drizzle, and yeah, it's Britain. It's a great British weather. Susan says, Camilla has AIDS. Not a big deal. Jesus Christ is the healer and takes some medicine. Everyone in this world will one day die. I don't think she has, but yes, I mean, medicine has advanced. So anyone who does have that condition, it's not a life sentence anymore. People aren't necessarily going to die from having HIV. You know, it can be controlled through drugs. So it's not a life sentence. People can live with it. It's a condition that you can now live with. Freya says, Princess Caroline isn't much younger than Charles, so there was a time when she wasn't experienced, or whatever you call it. Yes, I mean, there's probably lots of barriers, but I don't think that anything serious was going to happen. Candice says, what do you think of Buckingham Palace pink flower brooch? That's the one I like, and I think that might be the one that I like next. I like the little pink stone in it. There is the lily, the flame lily, but I like the little pink one. I really do. That was my next favourite. But please let me know. Let me know in the other video and this video which one you think I should go for next. I was very tempted to get more, but of course, you know, at £80 a go, they are fairly expensive. But of course, you know, I do get to wear them. Oh dear says, I forgot to mention I tuned into your other YouTube channel and enjoyed my greenhouse tour and my sweet cat having a drink. Oh yes, I posted a video of Molly, my black cat, having a drink from a water bucket. It is rather funny. I find it quite funny. It's a bit of a close-up of her lapping water, and it is quite funny. Elaine says, yes, I live in a little village in England, one of those quaint chocolate box ones. How lovely. Post office, pub and letterbox in the red letterboxes. Wow, that sounds lovely. In Shropshire, we are quite rural ourselves, so we do have lots of areas where there are sort of quaint, essentially English houses and cottages. Jamie says, only home, what's this? Only home they had decorated themselves. Correction, Clarence House pre-1952. Yes, but they had a lot of furniture. What I meant by that was the furniture as well. They even designed the furniture. So although Duke of Edinburgh was the main instrumental one in the redesign of Clarence House, yes, he chose the carpets, the curtains, any remodelling, you know, any panelling that went on, but they had the furniture from the royal collection. Most of the paintings, the furniture was from you know, family pieces or from the royal collection. The Yacht Britannia, they designed everything from, you know, the colours to the carpets to the curtains to the beds to the wardrobes to the desks. Everything was chosen by them, so you get a real sense of what their style was. I suppose, you know, Clarence House, a little bit like Kensington Palace when Catherine came in and she redesigned Margaret's apartment 1A, which they're in now. You know, yes, she redesigned it, she redecorated it, but a lot of the pieces were family pieces that are in there. So she didn't get to design her own furniture, but the Royal Yacht Britannia was what they designed entirely. It was entirely theirs, and that's what I mean by that. Callum says, I am a young person in school. Wow, we have another young person. I know Jamie, otherwise known as Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, is young too, and Callum's young. Well, I'm really pleased that you're able to join us. Please spread the word. Freya says, how do you respond to Republicans who criticise the monarchy? My younger brother is a member of Sinn Féin and is completely relentless about the subject. Well, the only thing you can do is point them in the direction of the benefits, I suppose, that the monarchy brings. You know, they bring continuity, they bring stability. They aren't doing things for political gain. You know, if you get a president, for example, you know, they know that, you know, once they've served their term, that's it, they're gone. They don't have a long-term investment in what they do. It's short-term, it's political. They have a political agenda which they have to meet. They try and win over the public popularity. The monarchy doesn't have to do that. They are above that. The government is obviously their government, their country, but they are the head of state, but they don't have to do anything political, which is what the Queen has been so amazing at. And I hope Charles continues this when he becomes king. So there are lots of benefits. You know, again, we have safeguards in place. If somebody like Hitler was to come, you know, into power, they could put the stoppers on it. If we were invaded, the monarch, as long as the monarch was okay, then the country wouldn't be taken. So there are lots of, and also I suppose the public psyche. You know, the public like having a human face to the state that is continual, that you know who's coming next. And it's a focus. It's a focus for the nation. Look at times of national crisis, like when Princess Diana died. People wanted the Queen. They didn't want her up in Balmoral. They wanted her in London. They wanted to focus the grief at her. So it's good having a human embodiment. There's also the fact that you know, the church and state are kind of separate entities, but yet together. There's that complex mix of that. There's lots and lots of different reasons why our form of constitutional monarchy is good, and that's the only thing you can do in answering Republicans. And there are many other reasons too. Caroline says, oh, how quaint, I am visiting a friend in London. Freya says, did you look into the private apartments of St James? No, that's another thing. When I was talking about my list, it's on there. I've not had the time to do, so I'm saving that hopefully for a big long holiday in the summer. Jamie says, no, you said Camilla has AIDS when you describe okay. Oh, okay, I get you. I didn't mean that. I meant aides as in ladies in waiting. You know, people that help. What's another word for them? Just helpers, you know, personal assistants. There you go. They have kind of like personal assistants that help, that are kind of a little bit like ladies in waiting, but obviously they don't send out letters as ladies in waiting do. They have a separate team for that. They have in the offices at Kensington Palace, which are now going to be moved hopefully to the Orangery in a basement extension. They have a team of people that work on it, an administration team basically. Okay, Caroline says, Elaine, I saw that you also like RST Mom on YouTube. I noticed you are there. I also subscribe to her. Obviously another YouTuber, go check her out. Odia says, if you can find the video I saw a long time ago showing the Queen's dressmaker, Angela Kelly, and how she goes about designing the Queen's outfits. I would love to see that again. Is that the one that I made? I'm sure I did make one on Angela Kelly. If you look, it would be in the Queen Elizabeth playlist, but you'd have to scroll down to find it. Critical Vector says, Elliot, I must say that Camilla's hats have gotten so much larger and more stylish, very much in the style of the Queen Mother. And I do like her hats. I've always liked her hats. Ever since her wedding one with the big sort of brown feathers. You still don't like her one bit, and the hats, but the hats have improved. Clearly she's having help with that. I think she's really fashionable, but her own brand of fashion. And I do like her. I do like her. And the video of her at the some sort of trade fair, I think it was, where she was approached by an actor who was portraying a farmer, and he wanted to knight her with a leek. And he made some funny comments, so go watch that video. It's really funny. Jamie says, really hope your next one is the fern. This is the fern. Oh, I like the fern too. Oh, there's so many. I want all of them. I really do. I would, please, Buckingham Palace, send me them all and I can review them all. Because I can't choose. It's really hard. Banal says, I'm glad Pink Flower Brooch is one of my favourites. I hope you get it at some point. It is still my favourite that I'm leaning towards. Definitely. Oh, I've missed loads of comments. Let me go through. Susan's from Kenya. Jamie says, if there is a civil war, I'll personally join the Irish Guards and fight back the Republican pigs. Oh, there we go. Bit of fire in the belly. Jamie says, Irish Guards followed me on Twitter. Wow, that's really good. And yes, I have 9,995 subscribers, not far off 10,000. God, I remember when I was on 500. It's amazing. And the subscribers have gone up quite a lot in the past month. I think in the past month I've had about 2,100 extra new subscribers. So thank you to anyone who's subscribed. I really do appreciate it. 7,500,000 says, I'm British Kenyan. There you go. We have some African viewers. Jamie says Aquarius and support staff. They have lots of different names. Helpers. Let's go with helpers because that encompasses all. And yes, secretaries. There are lots and lots and lots and lots of names for the royal staff, butlers, footmen, chauffeurs. Loads and loads. Let's just call them helpers for now. Political Vexer says, Elliot, I don't want to challenge Freya Baldwin about Princess Caroline, but she was very beautiful, willful, and quite the party girl. She was not sexually chaste, as is required by the future king. Of course, there was that whole thing back in the early 80s and late 70s that they wanted the princess, or Charles's future wife, to be a virgin. Of course, that notion in today's world, I think, has completely been shattered. But back then, it was still very pertinent, and it was, you know, something that Charles was pushed into finding. You know, and eventually he settled on Diana, who was the quite essentially, you know, English aristocratic virgin. Terry says, what do I think about the election result? Well, personally, I'm quite happy that the Conservatives are still in power, although, you know, they haven't got the majority. But also, I am happy, even though it was mobilised by Corbyn and the Labour Party, which I'm not a big fan of. But one thing I can say that I did like was that they run a campaign that got young people voting, and I've always been a big vote supporter. That even if you're not into politics, you should still exercise your democratic right to vote. And he mobilised a section of the public which typically doesn't vote that much, and that is the younger generation. So even though I don't believe in his politics, I can applaud him for getting young people out to vote, and I hope it's a trend that continues. Jamie says, I saw a piece of information once that said Angela Kelly was the Queen's private secretary. No, she is the official dressmaker and curator of the Queen's jewels. Elaine says, I think we could end up with a coalition government if they call another election in October. And yes, lots of young people were voting over the tuition fees. And I think the Conservatives made a bit of a blunder with, you know, attacking the elderly people, basically. So I think they need to rethink strategy a little bit. And they have got time to right some wrongs. Susan says, thanks to welcome our brother Obama. Yes, Prince Harry met Obama a couple of weeks ago now. He came over to talk about all the attacks, and that was the Manchester attack, not the London one at that time. So yes, Prince Harry met Obama 2 weeks ago. Jamie says, helpers, how unroyal a name. Sounds like someone who works part-time in a nursery. But it encompasses all. Let's go with helpers. The Queen's little helpers. I would love to be one of the Queen's little helpers. Elaine says, let's share his videos. Elliot deserves it. Thank you very much. Nancy says, Terry Camilla is dedicated working for the royal family and very misunderstood. There's a lot of negativity about Camilla out there recently. One website, the top half on YouTube, it's a YouTube channel, is constantly putting out fake news about the royals and Camilla in particular, and I really do think it should be shut down because people do believe it. You know, some people can't see through the lies and they take it as fact. Oh dear says, Elliot, do you like to cook or bake? I like to bake. It might be a fun video of making something from the royal cookbook. I have the royal cookbook, and months and months and months ago I showed it on this channel, and I said I was going to do some cookery, some of the recipes, and I've never got around to it. Again, it's on my big massive long list, you know, trying to balance this channel and my job and private life as well. You know, there is so much to do, but again, it's something that I do really want to do, so it's a really good idea. Susan's saying good night and greetings to her sweetheart Harry. Jamie says Teresa may need to stop acting like the Queen. She's got a good kick in the behind to shock her back into realizing she's not immortal. I think she's had a wake-up call, definitely, but she has got time to put things right. Terry says what I wanted to send you, Elaine, is too long for the comments box. You can message each other on Facebook. Oh dear says, do you have the bumblebee brooch? I can't quite remember all the ones you have. No, I don't have that one. I've been going for complete replicas to start with, but I do like the bee, and it would have been very pertinent in wake of the Manchester attacks because one of their sort of emblems is the bee. So I'm quite sad I don't have it, but I want to go with the exact replicas first. Steve says, I keep getting top half videos recommended to me on YouTube. It's annoying. Yes, unfortunately, if you put out fake news, they get lots of views, but I can't bring myself to do it. 7 billion says, Susan, oh, you are a Prince Harry fan too. How lovely. He's doing ever so well. He is. He's had an amazing 2 weeks and he's been over to Singapore and Australia, launching the Invictus Games. He's done fabulous, and I think he is really stepping up to the mark and helping support his grandmother. Political Vector says, Elliot, on your new companion channel about my life, will I be introducing us to all my family, friends, and significant other? Would enjoy seeing you all in the kitchen baking British and delicious. I don't know is the answer. I'm going to just see how it goes and go with the flow, and you know, if people want to appear on camera, they can. If not, then I must respect their wishes. So we'll see. I've still got lots of different playlists to launch. You know, the gardening is just one side that, you know, I had lots of gardening to do, so that's why I started with that one. But next, I'm going to launch the comedy. That's definitely where I'm going next. Caroline says, no, she should kind of skip over some of the comments. I've had to, because if I want to keep up and keep current with you guys, I have to kind of skim read and, you know, just pick out bits. You know, and sometimes on the live chat, it's been going so fast that I've been way behind with my answers. So I'm kind of learning to just, you know, go over. If it's something that you really, really, really want me to read out, then type it again. And of course, I'll get to it. Steve says, I still can't find the Patreon-only Facebook page. I'm not sure why. In fact, you know, none of the patrons have actually joined the group. Maybe, you know, I'm sure I've set it so you can find it. It's a private group that only I can allow people to join, but you can find it. I'm sure you can find it. I'll have another look at the settings and I'll post the link on Patreon, and then you can on Patreon, and then you can find it, hopefully. Jamie says, oh, just give me everything in the Royal Collection shop. I would echo that sentiment. Jamie says, I wonder if the Queen wants something from the Royal Collection shop. Can she have it? I don't know. I'd imagine she's got pretty much everything she needs anyway. or William and Jane 7. Catherine says, I think cooking and baking part of my new channel would be fun. I could. I'm not a very good normal cook, but I can bake. I definitely can bake. Jamie says, if the group is private, then that means you have to invite only. When I say private, I mean you can't. No, if you're not a member of it, you can't see what's in it. That's the setting I've got it on. Elaine says, I'm not au fait with Facebook, but you'll try. I'll find the link and put it on Patreon. 7 Billion says, Elliot, beloved, you'd make a fantastic royal curator. There are so many royal jobs that I would love to do. But for now, I'm happy talking about the royals and reviewing them. And of course, talking to all you wonderful guys. If I had an official job, I wouldn't be able to do this. I'd be quite restricted. So I enjoy the freedom of doing what I do. I just love more time to be able to do it is the main thing. And of course, when you've got, a house which you need to still pay for, and, I need to live, my job does help me with that, my day job. So, and as I said, YouTube itself doesn't pay that much money. I don't get a lot for the videos that I make. And in fact, my patrons on Patreon really do help. It does make a big difference. So if things improve there, then hopefully one day I can spend more time and dedicate more time to doing more videos. Any money that I make off Patreon goes straight back into this, which is what I've shown today. I've waited until I've got enough and I've reached my first goal, and I put it straight back into the channel. Reviewing things so that you guys can see them and sharing everything with you guys, and that's the way that I want it to be. Okay, so if you have any questions, if you're new to the chat, just basically talk to me, say hello, send me a question, find the chat box. Now I'm going to check my list to see if there's something. Oh yes, Prince William did an interview for GQ magazine, and they released a new photo of Charlotte and George and Catherine and Prince William and Lupo the dog, and they were under a tree, and it was in black and white, and I just think it was a really lovely photo. Very natural. I mean, of course it was set up and posed, but very natural. And I love the fact that they included Lupo too. And what did you all think about the Queen's, well, I say new hair, kind of shorter hair, I suppose. What do you think about the Queen's refined hairstyle? Let me know. Jamie says, why do they give rewards to random people who don't care and are probably Republicans? It wouldn't take them long at all for them to find this channel and this community and give back to the people who deserve it most. Do you mean in terms of things like, I don't know, OBEs or MBEs? Steve says, do you wear your brooches apart from on the live chats? Out in public, I mean, probably not, no. On the live chats, yes, because it goes with the channel, and I really do enjoy wearing them. But in real life, for my day job, any kind of jewellery is not appropriate for my day job. And if I'm just popping up to the supermarket or the local shops, it's a little bit dressy. And sometimes you don't want the attention, and I think these would draw quite a big bit of attention, which is again why the Queen wears them. The Queen wears these sorts of pieces because they attract attention. She needs to be seen to be believed. That's why she wears block colours. That's why she wears the hats that frame the face. They all help to be noticed. And sometimes if I'm down the local supermarket or shops, I don't want to be noticed. I want to just blend in. So in normal life, no, not really. But for the purpose of my live chats and my videos, yes, I definitely do. And I really enjoy wearing them. In a way, it's quite a privilege, to wear something like this. Terry says, Elaine, I have put it on the Royal Reviewers Facebook page. Oh, by the way, I have a Royal Reviewer Facebook page, but there is also a Facebook group that's not just for patrons. Anyone can join, and it's called Royal Reviewer YouTube channel. So you can join that group too. So I've actually got 3 things on YouTube: the Royal Reviewer page, the patron only group, and the Facebook group that anyone can join. So page, group, patron only. Please try and find them all. They are on there. And the actual group has got, I think, nearly 200 members so far. Candice says, I believe the wattle brooch is my 5th brooch. Yes, it is. I've got the flower basket, I've got the double bow, I've got the star, I've got the wattle, and did I say flower basket? Flower basket, star, bow, wattle. Which other one have I got? I forgot. Oh no. I'm terrible. I forgot one. Which one have I got? Let me know. It's totally gone out of my head. Nancy says the Queen's new haircut is very flattering. At 91, and she is remarkable. She is indeed. And that hero from Millwall, says Toe Turner, who protected people at London Bridge and ended up in hospital, deserves an honour. I would imagine they would. I mean, just these acts of bravery are the sorts of things that do get picked up on. Van Al says the Queen has beautiful, soft-looking hair. Her new style is really sweet. There you go. I said the star. I definitely said the star. Caroline says, good night, Elliot. Have to finish packing, heading for England. I hope you have a really amazing journey. I hope you enjoy your time. Please, if you're on Twitter, let me know how your visit's going. Tweet me pictures. I'm on Twitter, Royal Reviewer, for those of you who don't know, and you can tweet me things. I do answer. Honestly, I do. Elaine says, 91, 96, amazing. It puts a zing into my dad's steps at 89 when I refer to the royal couple being older than him. It puts a lot of younger people to shame. It puts a lot of people my age to shame. Elaine says, I'm having difficulty finding 1, yet alone 3. I will put the links onto my Twitter and Patreon, so you'll be able to find them. Jamie says, and even just to give you a £250 Royal Collection shop voucher, how much marketing they would get by giving exclusive to this channel. They would, and I'm up for it. I'm up for reviewing things that people send me. But of course it would be my true reflection. I mean, I would point out that, you know, I wouldn't just say things are wonderful just because I've been given them to review. I would review them and tell people exactly what I think. You know, if something I didn't like, then I would say, just like, you know, I pointed out in my last opening video that I didn't really like the postage and packaging prices. I think they're a bit steep. You know, I think that for UK orders, it should be free, and I will say that. So anything that people do send me to review, you will get my opinion, regardless of whether they send to me free or not. So, you know, let that be known. I will always give you my the maple leaf. How could I forget? Nancy, you're right. The maple leaf. I have the maple leaf. I have the basket, the maple leaf, the star, the double bow, and the wattle. 5. Political Bet says, Elliot, what do you spend each year on your gardening materials? Do you know how to get do you know how to get vegetables? Do you use a pressure canner? Okay, lots of questions. Gardening materials, I haven't added it up, to be fair. I do grow things from seeds, which is cheaper, but this year I've not had much time for that, so I have bought some in. So I mean, probably, I don't know, shall we say 80 to 100 pounds a year? The garden is pretty well established anyway, so yeah, 80 to 100. As for vegetables, do you mean pressure cooker or a steamer? You can cook vegetables in steamers. Steamers are good. Elaine's wishing a safe journey to Caroline. Fuzzy Puppet says, is the Koh-i-Noor diamond still part of the crown jewel? Yes, it's on the consort's crown, which of course is not in use because we don't have a consort. And you remember reading India was trying to have it returned. They tried, but of course they aren't going to. Love the 50s says, I should not believe anything on the top half channel. No. And if I were you, I would unsubscribe from it because it really is a complete load of fabricated rubbish. Steve says, I did write to Royal Collection Shop and tell them about me and recommend they contact you, but I didn't get a reply. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Steve. I have an activist, yay. Thank you so much. I mean, hopefully they will see the channel and see that it's a good place to get their products reviewed. 6.5 million views, 10,000 subscribers interested in their products would be great promotion for them. So, you know, if you're watching Royal Collection Shop, I will review your things. If you send it me, I will review it. Jamie says, I swear these people are supposed to be professionals. You're only 15, and if you were given 5 minutes, you would make the market reach 10,000 plus bigger. It almost feels like they have no online presence. That's kind of true. You know, you could certainly capitalize on a lot more. And one thing that I did think when looking at the website is some of the things for children, like, for example, they have the bearskin kind of costume pajamas for kids, and it's like pajamas, but the outfit, the uniform that Prince William was wearing today, they don't do it in adult sizes. And I kept thinking, if that had been an adult size, I would have bought it. So they need to do a lot more, you know, look at who is going to buy the things and do a lot more for adults, I think, as well. I mean, there is lots for adults, but, you know, some things they could, you know, a lot more fun things they could do. Jamie says, honestly, most people hear of the Royal Collection Shop by word of mouth. That is true. And from websites like mine. You'd never heard of historic royal palaces if I hadn't told you. Yes, that's another good one. Historic royal palaces has lots of different things that they sell in the Tower of London shops and Hampton Court, for example. So yes, check that out too. And I would be happy to review their things too. Steve says, thanks Elaine, I wrote quite a detailed letter, so disappointed they didn't even reply. Again, thank you so much. I mean, that really does make me feel amazing that someone's taken the time to try and promote the channel. So thank you very much. Ryan says, do you think Prime Minister May will be able to stay in office for a time? Yes. And why is it when you promise young people free college tuition and support without knowing how it would be funded? You feel this gave Corbyn his late youth surge? Yes, I mean, if you're a young person going into adult life, you don't want to be saddled with all that debt. I know it's kind of, you know, it's not debt that's knocking on your door straight away to be paid, but nevertheless, you don't, you know, it can be quite scary to be young and saddled with that much debt attached to your name. So I can understand why, if you were promised that amount of money, that you would basically go for it. And of course, young people in general, I'm not talking about everyone, but a lot of them probably might not remember so much the time when Labour did spend lots of money, boom and bust, deregulate the banks, and left us open to the global crisis and ended up having to bail out the banks and all the rest of it. You know, people after Gordon Brown really went against this sort of lavish spending, and now people are kind of going back to it. And I think Corbyn's been a little bit naughty in trying to go after the people that might not necessarily remember or have the experience of that little bit of history. So, you know, of course, if you're going to get promised the earth, you may fall for it, and that's possibly what's happened. Political Vet says, Elliot, I was asking about canning to preserve. Oh, canning is in preserving food. I have damsons, which I've never been able to turn into jam, and I would love to this year. And yes, I don't do it, but I should do it, and I would love to know how to do it. And that's possibly something I could explore. Terry says, if Corbyn had been elected, he would have had great trouble coming through on his promises. Well, I agree there. Political Vector says, maybe I'm using the American term for canning vegetables, Brits call it tins of vegetables. I have heard of canning now you mention it. I suppose we would just say preserving, preserving jams or preserving vegetables. I guess that's what we'd say. But I have heard about canning before, but I've never done it. Jamie says, I think they can't do it in adult sizes because there would be impersonations. I'm sure they would know the difference between a pair of pajamas and an actual uniform. Elaine says, that would be fun wearing the bearskin PJs in a comedy. I would love to. Please make them in adult sizes. Jamie says, think about it. How are people supposed to find out about the shops? They have no advertisements and they never even mention. I think they should stop trying to be too royal and aloof for their own. I think going back about 3 years ago, round about Christmas time, it may have even been in no, it wasn't. It was in 2012 for the Jubilee. They advertised then. They did. But they haven't since. So perhaps they should. I mean, certainly at Christmas time as well. They've got so many great gifts for Christmas. They should advertise at Christmas, and then people would remember all year that it existed. So yes, they should advertise at Christmas, I think. I mean, even just the tree decorations alone are amazing, of which I do have a collection. Elaine says, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, nobody would dare impersonate. That's correct. You'd end up in the tower. Jamie says, but I feel very, very angry and passionate about that particular topic. But I think we all can. I mean, you know, when we know that there's something great out there that not a lot of people know about, we do want to spread the word. So, I mean, I can't stop that. I can't make them do adverts, but we can tell them, you know, just like Steve, you know, write them a letter, tell them that they should be advertising. I think they should. Ryan says they've got short-term memory because of austerity. Yes, people do have short-term memories, but also, you know, if you're an 18-year-old first-time voter, you know, this happened 10 years ago, pretty much 10 years ago. They'd be 10, you know, they wouldn't have probably necessarily have been concerning themselves with the crash and all the crisis going on. So technically they've lived through it, but they haven't really experienced it with an adult mind. And I think Corbyn's been trying to get votes out of that. Okay, Terry says, my sister didn't have a student loan, worked as a waitress to pay her way, and only begrudgingly accepted money from the family. I think another issue is, I mean, if you wound back, you know, 30 years ago even, to Britain 30 years ago, the amount of people going to university was a lot less. We didn't have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of different degrees. I suppose we had core degrees, and people that wanted to be teachers, doctors, scientists, you know, mathematicians, they went on and did degrees because their sorts of jobs would need them. Everyone else, you know, had GCSEs, if you like, or O levels, and A levels, and most jobs you could do with A levels. And I think, you know, we've gone a little bit too far into everyone's doing degrees, when really they're going to end up with jobs where they don't necessarily need one. You know, you can do a lot of vocational training, you can do apprenticeships. You know, lots of companies like to have people after A levels and train them to be managers, for example, from A levels. You don't necessarily need a degree to be a manager of a shop. You know, lots of people 30 years ago did it from A levels, not from a degree. In a way, the amount of people doing degrees has devalued the degree. Now people are saying to kind of get the, like what the old degree was, you're having to do a degree and a master's, or, you know, a degree, a master's, you know, and maybe a second degree. So I think things have moved a little bit too far. I think people are doing degrees when they don't necessarily need to do them. And I know that might sound a bit radical, but that's my opinion. Okay. Steve says, Jamie could be right. Disney don't do costumes in adult sizes so that adults can't dress up as Disney characters. Well, these are pajamas. I mean, they aren't actual costumes. I'm talking about nightwear. And I don't necessarily think that people would try and dress up in nightwear to earn money elsewhere. I certainly wouldn't anyway. H.A. Bratton says, why so much political talk? We live it every day and I like to hear me talk about other things. Oh, well, it's just happened. It's topical. Let's just say that. Political Vector says, have I ever been to Althorpe, or Althrop, as some people say? No, I haven't, but I would like to go. I would like to see how the island has been done up. That's Diana's burial oval island. So I know it was being done up for the 20th anniversary of her death. Nancy says, if royal shops advertise, they would be criticised. It's a difficult position for them to have commercial endeavours. I would agree if the money was going to the royal family directly, but it's not. The money that's made from the royal collection goes back into the royal collection, such as the same way that the money from the Buckingham Palace house tours go back into the royal collection. So I don't think, you know, there would be a problem there necessarily. I think it's just initiative. Jamie says, at the Queen's funeral, would Charles, now King, arrive in the state Bentley with the royal standard? Yes, because he would be king. Although, out of deference, to be honest, I can't remember. The last George VI, they went by carriage, didn't they? I'm sure they went by carriage. I need to check that one out. Could be at half mast, maybe. But the national anthem would still play. Elaine says, I had to help my son for 5 years to get through uni. Greedy landlords on top of fees. It's very expensive. Terry says, the Queen probably is disturbed at what's going on, but can't say what she thinks, as she always has been. Although she does show her support with the places that she visits, like she visited people in hospital who have been affected. Terry says, I agree, 3 degrees devalues them. Well, not necessarily 3 even. Perhaps there should be a core, you know, amount of people that do the degrees. I don't know. It does need addressing, but certainly, you know, university students spending all that time at uni, coming out with, you know, £40,000 worth of debt, no experience of jobs, and then there not being the jobs there for them anyway, is not good. Jamie says, I love the royal standard. To me, it symbolises peace between those isles with the Irish harp, English lion, and Scottish dragon, all culminating into one flag. It does, and you know, I think a lot of people should fly it. In fact, I'm going to fly it in my garden. That can be one. I'm going to get a flagpole and I'm going to fly the royal standard. Nancy says, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, yes, Charles would use the flag on the Bentley. He would be the king. Would he arrive by carriage, though? I'm not entirely sure. Elaine says, I agree, Terry, but the Queen is a tough cookie and deals with whatever comes her way in her diplomatic way. And through her support, so, for example, the charity she supports, the things that she's patron of, it's all done through symbolism. For example, if she's doing something Commonwealth, she will wear the wattle. It's all about symbols and being diplomatic. Van Al says, was Diana's Oval Island specifically created to bury her? No, it was always there and just chosen as a location. Jamie says, when does the anthem officially change? Instantly. From the first time it's sung after Elizabeth's death, it will be God Save the King. Ingrid says, super late, but just wanted to say hi, hello to Ingrid. And I'm going to check my list to see if I've missed anything off. Oh yes, the palace garden parties. I think we're up to number 4. Is it 3 or 4 that's been gone on in this season so far? And the Queen and Duke were out a couple of weeks ago now, in looking very splendid and happy. The Duke looking in very fit health. Prince Harry hosted his own garden party for charity. So the garden parties are in full swing, and I wish I'd been invited to one. And I hope you saw my Victorian video that I made about Victorians having fun, and how people often see them as being a bit dour and po-faced, but you know, those are a real funny set of photos, including Queen Victoria laughing. So do check that one out and leave a comment on it. And there's also, I made a video about Reign, Princess Diana's stepmother, who died, and they are auctioning off, her family's auctioning off some of her possessions, including a ruby necklace parure. So please check that out. It's going to be auctioned at Christie's, and it includes some of her clothes and a handbag as well. I would love the ruby set. I would wear it, definitely. Okay, I have actually gone through all the things on my list, so the stage is open for you guys. Anything you want to talk about, do let me know. Jamie says no, he wouldn't arrive in a carriage during George VI funeral. The carriage was the only one on the return journey. I knew I'd seen one. I knew I'd seen a carriage. Would be likely for the Queen as well, but only for Catherine and Camilla. Then again, it could be done completely different. You know, sometimes they do make changes, and the Queen's funeral is already planned out, so they will know what they want, and also weather as well. You know, it could be likely. I mean, Charles does like his Bentleys. Charles does like his classic collection in the Royal Fleet, so he could potentially just choose car and forego the carriage altogether. But I did remember a carriage from George VI, so it was on the return visit. But like I say, he could change it completely and just have the car. Elaine says, am I a Wimbledon fan? No, I'm afraid I don't find tennis interesting at all. The only thing I like about the tennis season is, you know, strawberries and Pims. But no, I'm not a big tennis fan. I do find it a bit dull, I have to say. Sorry if you're a tennis fan, but I'm not overly enthralled by tennis. Critical Vector says, Elliot, is Prince Philip still carriage racing? Yes. There was photos a few months ago of him still doing it. And Princess Louise is indeed following in his footsteps. And I love the photos of her driving the carriage, and especially the reconditioned Queen Elizabeth carriage that I did a video on a few weeks ago. She looks like she's having a thoroughly good time, and I'm glad that she's getting to spend some quality time and sharing an interest with her grandfather. Steve says, if I could have one member of the royal family watch my channel, who would it be? Oh, Princess Michael of Kent. There you go. Because I have a feeling that I would get on very well with Princess Michael of Kent. Dawn says hello. So hello to Dawn and welcome to the chat. And Jamie says, you thought I was going to say Harry. No, I said Princess Michael of Kent. Jamie spotted Rory. Yeah, I'm actually fiddling with his tail right now. I'm stroking him by the chair. He's come in. His food is right behind me on the floor. Did you see him over there? Van says, Prince Harry is a very busy fellow these days. He is. I don't know how he has time for a personal life. We haven't seen him with Meghan for ages. Although, you know, that I'm not speculating they split up, but I'm sure they're still very much together. And I predict that once he's fully back from Australia and all recovered from that, that he will go and see her then. Okay, there's calls for you, Roy. He's eating. He's eating his food. I'll try and get him in a minute when he's finished. Currently munching away. So yeah, I've spoken, I'm sure I said about Trooping the Colour. Trooping the Colour is next Saturday. So we'll have lots to talk about from there. Lots of royal fashion. And by the way, something rather exciting. I did share it with my patrons on Patreon. You do get to see things first if you're one of my patrons on Patreon. I've been requested to do an interview for What Kate Wore. So What Kate Wore is on Twitter, it's on Facebook, and it's got a website, and it concentrates on replicating Catherine's fashion and experiences. And I've been asked by them to give my take on a male who likes to replicate in brackets. So I'm going to be doing an interview for them, a written interview. So I'm going to write a piece for them, and hopefully they will share with their followers my channel. So it'd be really good, and hopefully we'll get some new What Kate Wore viewers on the live chats. Nancy says Elliot, Princess Michael would be created would create great discussion. Yes, I mean, I like the fact that she's an author. I like the fact she lives in Kensington Palace, so I'd probably have to go there to do the interview. I like the fact that she's got lots of jewellery, which I definitely have to see. And I think she'd be able to tell me a tale or two, perhaps holding back certain information, but I'm sure I could get a bit out of her. Jamie says it feels like months since the last chat. It does. I agree. It feels longer than a week. Dawn says, what did Prince Philip do for his birthday? Officially, they haven't disclosed anything other than it was spent privately. But it could involve carriage driving. The Queen went all horsey for her birthday. You don't know what questions have been asked so far, so you'll catch up on chat. Okay, I've got Rory. He's finished his dinner. Come on. Hello. Here you are. Come and say hello. You're live on YouTube and you're being zoomed around the world. You're being viewed in lots of different countries. You are. You are on camera. Look. What would you like to say to everybody? Would you like to have a little look at them? Go. Look. I'm going to put you down. Okay, that was Rory. Okay, I got. Oh, it's summer and he's molting, and now I've got fur everywhere. Ugh, Rory, what have you done to me? Terry admires Princess Michael. Jamie says, my exams finish on the 16th, improving the colours on the 17th. Well, that's a good celebration, I suppose. Political Vet says, Elliot, Princess Michael of Kent is quite beautiful. I am thinking of the correct. Yes, she's very glamorous. Very glamorous. I love her style too. And you're saying, oh, Ascot, yes, it's from the 20th to the 24th. Jamie says, you could have a good natter with her. I would love to have a good natter with her and share a pot of tea. Nancy says, what a beautiful cat. And yes, he is a big boy and very handsome. Jamie says, Rory's face is like, please leave me alone, I need sleep. Well, he's just eaten. I think he wants to be let out, but the door is open. The door's open. Go to the door. He's so beautiful. Sweet little Rory. I love him, says Candice. Dawn says, Princess Michael sure has an interesting interview with the defamed Canadian Conrad Black. She put him in his place when he asked a question she didn't like. Excuse me. I'm afraid I haven't seen that interview. I'll have to see if it's on YouTube and available to watch. I would love to see what sorts of questions she doesn't like being asked. And Jamie says, are the flowers fake or real? They are my fake ones. You've seen them before. I didn't have time to get fresh this week. Elaine says, we don't hear about Shropshire these days. Oh, Stephanie. Sorry, the light is in my face. We don't hear about Stephanie these days, her sister. No, we do not indeed. Yes, must have been sent to the tower. Now, I'm going to leave the chat here this week. Thank you for joining. And of course, you can catch up immediately after this chat. It goes live. Thank you for joining me. And I really have missed this chat. It's only when I take a break from it, when something happens and I can't make the chat, that I really do realise how much I love our weekly chats. And I love the fact that all the regulars keep coming. I like it when we have new people too. So thank you very much to everyone who keeps coming back week after week. Thank you very much to my patrons. And if you are a $20 a month patron, your name is in the description of this chat. So I've updated that today to reflect all my $20 patrons. So if you want your name on every single live chat, in the description box, then become a $20 a month patron on my Patreon account. So until next week, it will be live 10 o'clock Saturday. Trooping the colour, don't forget Trooping the Colour. From me in Shropshire, a very happy me because I've got my brooch. Goodbye.